There are two places in the hiring process where you can help avoid employment claims. The first place is at the hiring phase. Now, I know most businesses, or depending on what type of business it is, a lot of times it's just about filling bodies. So you hire whoever walks through the door. But if you can avoid it, the better option is to really take your time and hire the right person, because employees bring employment claims when they're unhappy. And a lot of times they're unhappy because they're not the right fit. So it's you as the business owner that has to determine the fit. The way I do it in my business is first I advertise for a particular position and I'm very clear about what I want. These are the skill sets that I need. Here's the pay, right? And then I get a group of applicants that come in. I look through the applications and I pick the top ones, the ones that I think are the best fit just from the application. And then I bring people in for interviews. And I like to do either in-person interviews or video interviews because I want to see the expression on their face when I ask questions. I want to see how they analyze, how they think. And sometimes it's hard just to do it via phone. Then once I do the interviews, I pick the several that I think are best. And then in the second interview, I like to really get in depth with the job description and what they'll be doing today and see how they react to that. And then from that group of second interviews, I pick the one that I think is best. I make sure to do a 90-day period where if it doesn't work out, we each go our separate ways. And then I really take my time within those 90 days to really work with that employee and have everybody else work with that employee to try to make sure that they're a good fit. So that's what I do at the beginning stage, just to avoid lawsuits. And obviously, when you're picking the right candidate, there are protected reasons that you can't make a selection based on race, age, gender, the usual. Obviously, avoid any questions or any things that would lead someone to believe that you chose someone or didn't choose someone because of one of those protected categories. The second place where you find a lot of issues is in termination, of course, right? Because when you terminate an employee, obviously it's because you're not happy. And then when you terminate them, they're likely not happy. I think that the best way to terminate is to document. Now, sometimes employees will do something that you just, one thing that just you have to fire them right then and there. That's a completely different circumstance than somebody within that 90 days, for example, if it just isn't working out. I document, and then when it's time to terminate, I sit them down and I say, hey, here's all the evidence here. Depending on how it goes with the termination, I then will either shake their hand and tell them thank you for your service, or if it's someone that I think is going to be a problem, then I may offer them a severance agreement as long as they will sign a general release. And I recommend that to my clients also because it's just a really good insurance policy. And sometimes you think, why would I pay someone an extra 2 weeks, extra month, or whatever it is? But that 2 months of pay or a month of pay is going to save you a lot of money if there's a problem. So I just treat it as an insurance policy because lawsuits, especially if they go to litigation, can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars just in legal costs. If you offer a severance agreement, make sure that there's a general release of all claims, including all potential employment claims. And if an employee that you're terminating is not willing to sign a general release, then you know they're probably going to come after you anyway. So don't give them the money if they're not going to sign a general release. All right. So those are my thoughts on how to hire and how to fire.